brought them together, yeah, with Simpo was the budget.
I used to want to go
You
like
have Simpo?
last 2 years.
Oh, okay.
We just never do it.
Yeah.
Feel bad about that.
I knew that I hadn't been on the streets for a while whenever I got called, you know, 321. So I knew somebody would be real with me. And so he said, I don't know what. But I said, no, I got that. I need somebody to tell me if I'm making a bad decision when it comes to the street officers. That's why I brought him. I didn't know him. I just worked for him on the
Texas
turned out really well. Now I can, now I can get him to promote to lieutenant.
We could have a DPS troopers patrol that Grand Parkway. They're trying to give us a contract. And it's tied up in the Texas Department right now.
Thomas and I have that way 16 with the kitchen in the middle.
Yeah.
So it's y'all around
Our
there all the
office is
time.
trying to do a lot.
Only time we really go on it is we're dispatching in a wreck or something.
Andy, Simba.
Oh, Simba is your acting sergeant.
And I have Andy Riley as my other sergeant.
I know they're gonna start a bunch of constructions
Yeah.
on the Katy side.
Yeah, Simba.
Section between some 19
services or something.
I mean, y'all just gotta get them a form, unless you wanna get killed. I mean, you know, they should have thought about that in the design, like totally that traffic. You know? And now they're adding lanes too, so go figure.
Gonna get that?
I didn't just know that.
I was in schedule because I had solos. Once a month. Usually have like
He's in Dallas.
8 or 9 people, a couple of retirees, Dan Alexander. You probably don't know Dean Grace. He works from like 75 to 90. He retired out of major offenders and he went to Baker Hughes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff and I were talking about that yesterday. How weird that must have been.
My accounting, my major is accounting, and so I was going to go be an accountant. After I got my 20 hours in job, okay. And Brashear's talking going to get my master's because I just got my master's in criminology. I did the UH Clear Lake thing at the Cape Center.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. We have active Joe Rosas. talking out. Hey, chief. What you got, bunnies on your feet?
Thanks for all you did for us at the special session. You're all here, so you saved Harris County.
Good.
Yes, sir.
How's it going?
Hey, how you doing, Oregon?
Thank you guys. Yes, sir. How's it going, sir? Thank you.
I want to thank everybody for being here and being a part of this very important announcement. This announcement is, as I will explain in detail, an all-in effort by law enforcement across this entire county, especially the city of Houston, Harris County, and the constables who gathered with us here today, to make sure that we are going to escalate our effort to go after very dangerous repeat offenders here in Harris County. Let me thank those at the table and some of those who gathered behind me. We have Ray Hunt, who is the Executive Director of the Houston Police Officers Union. We have Sydney Zeiker, who is with Crime Stoppers. We have Colonel Freeman Martin, who is the Director of the Texas Department of Public Safety. We have Major Katreve from the Harris County Sheriff's Office. The Harris County Sheriff's Office is a part of this mission. We also have constables across this entire county that are stepping up and will be a part of this operation. I'll get some named. I regret if I miss others. Constable Mark Herman, Precinct 4, Constable Terry Albritton, Precinct 5, from Constable Precinct 1, Captain Laurie Bender, and others. And this is the type of effort that requires the collaboration of law enforcement at every level. Earlier this year, I signed laws to make it tougher for dangerous criminals to be released on bail. And then later this month, Texans across the entire state are going to have the opportunity to vote on a constitutional amendment requiring the denial of bail to the most dangerous criminals in our state. Today, we are announcing a crackdown that targets repeat violent criminals. But let me start out by being clear about something. The city of Houston and Harris County have already reduced crime rates. Violent crime in Houston is down about 22% compared to last year. Murders are also down. But citizens in this area remain concerned about crime, especially violent crime. And very simply, there are far too many victims of violent crime in Harris County. Most, and this is the most important thing I can say, most violent crimes in the Houston area are committed by repeat offenders. Today, we're putting those criminals on notice. We are coming for you. We're going to target you, arrest you, and put you where you belong, which is behind bars. We're announcing a new joint operation by all these law enforcement agencies here in Harris County, the Violent Crimes Task Force. The goal is to target and take down repeat violent offenders. The task force will combine efforts of all these different law enforcement agencies. Let me highlight a little bit of those who will be swarming these operations in these neighborhoods by the Texas Department of Public Safety, working in collaboration with these local law enforcement agencies. They include Texas DPS troopers, DPS special agents, members of the Houston Tag Center, Texas Rangers, supported by the Department of Homeland Security of DPS, as well as DPS aircraft. This is a Texas-sized effort by both the State Department of Public Safety as well as local law enforcement at every level. An effort to crack down on dangerous repeat offenders in the Houston area, using the full might of our most elite law enforcement officers. Houston can be the national model for public safety in America's largest cities. So our goal is simple, and that's that every Houstonian deserves to be able to walk the streets, take their kids to school, open their businesses, go shopping or dining, all without fear. Together with DPS and all of these local law enforcement agencies, we will focus on driving down violent crime in this area, seeking to be the safest big city in the United States of America. And next, I think we go to Sydney. Here we go.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sydney Zeiker, and I serve as the Senior Director of Programs and Special Projects at Crime Stoppers of Houston. Our CEO, Renia Mancarios, and our COO, Nicole Kristoff, are also here in attendance and in support today. And I want to begin by thanking Governor Greg Abbott for his leadership in keeping Texans safe. Thank you, sir.
Sure.
And for inviting us to be part of this important announcement today. I'm deeply grateful for our partners at DPS and HPOU and the Sheriff's Office and our Harris County Constables and HPD and all of our law enforcement partners that are here today. And on behalf of Crime Stoppers, it's an honor to be here. For 45 years, Crime Stoppers of Houston has been the bridge between law enforcement and the community. Every day, we work alongside victims, families, and neighbors who want what we all want, to be safe, at home, at school, and in our communities. Through that work, we have seen a troubling pattern that's now confirmed by the data. Repeat violent offenders are responsible for a big portion of crime. Our Glenda Gordy Research Center has completed updated analysis, and that data confirms what we have long known. Once someone has committed a violent crime, the chances of them committing another offense, violent or not, are far too high. In Houston, 55% of violent crimes are committed by individuals with criminal past. That's not just a statistic. It represents lives lost, families changed forever, and communities left to pick up the pieces. We've seen this firsthand through our work on the bond crisis in Harris County, where too many violent offenders were released on little or no bond, only to victimize again. The bond system became a revolving door for violent criminals, and it cost innocent people their lives. These heartbreaking stories drove us to act. Working alongside Governor Abbott and our legislative partners and local officials, we focused on real solutions that protect victims and hold offenders accountable. Together, we advanced meaningful reforms that reshaped the bond landscape in Texas. We closed dangerous loopholes and we strengthened accountability, and we're especially grateful for your support in that. When we close loopholes, we save lives. And today's announcement and this task force builds on that progress, ensuring that repeat violent offenders are swiftly identified, arrested, and prosecuted. At Crime Stoppers, we are proud to contribute to this effort. Our anonymous tip line has solved nearly 40,000 felony cases and helped remove more than 25,000 dangerous criminals from our streets. Time and time again, we've seen how one phone call, one anonymous tip can change everything. I want to remind everyone today that if you see something, if you know something, you can help. Call our tip line at 713-222-TIPS, use our mobile app, or visit crime-stoppers.org to make a report. Your information is always anonymous, and it could be the key to preventing the next tragedy. Silence protects criminals. Speaking up protects our community. Today's announcement sends a clear and powerful message. If you are convicted of violent crime and then reoffend, you are now a top priority in Harris County. On behalf of Crime Stoppers, thank you, Governor Abbott, and all of our partners who are with us today for taking this really important step. We stand ready to support with our data, with our advocacy, and with our connections to the community. Together, we can make Texas a lot safer.
Great. Thank you. Now, Freeman Martin, the Director of the Texas Department of Public Safety.
Thank you, Governor, and thank you to the media for being here to help us keep Houstonians informed about what we're doing. I can tell you, nowhere in the nation does law enforcement work together like they work together here in Harris County. time and time again, we've come together with the Harris County Sheriff's Department, the Houston Police Department, our constables, and even the surrounding counties, Montgomery County, in Waller County, and Chambers County, to address these issues. Just recently, a lot of the media was here in Montgomery County. We had a press conference over jugging. There was an uptick in jugging, and we came together as a group, law enforcement, and said, how we have to address this, like we've done so many times over and over on using proven strategies. Today, jugging in Harris County, Montgomery County are almost non-existent. But we had a tremendous amount of success, a lot of arrests, and some of these new judges that are in place, and some of these new laws, and increasing the penalties for jugging, making a felony, and giving us additional tools to where if we stop somebody and they have the tools, we can arrest them before they commit the crime. And so just a huge success. But you know what we identified through that operation is what we see time and time again. It's repeat offenders. Just in the last month, right in this area right here in Cypress, Texas, we had 3 thugs followed an 84-year-old man from a bank to his house and robbed him of $600. They broke his hip. The Harris County Sheriff's Department responded, teamed up with DPS. We arrested all 3 thugs, and guess what? Every one of them had prior convictions. Some of them specifically for targeting elderly people and following them home from a bank. So again, right here in Spring, Texas, within the last 3 weeks, very similar case, followed somebody home, robbed them of their money. When we arrested the suspect in that case, he had 17 prior arrests. We know this small population that's driving the violent crime, we know who they are. This task force is going to go after them. There's several things you'll see in this task force, and the governor laid it out very well. Crime is trending in the right direction, but we have an opportunity to make Houston and Harris County, the greater Houston area, the safest county in the nation. We know who these thugs are. So what you'll see is, number one, you'll see an increased uniform presence and patrol operations in high crime areas. Saturated patrols reduce crime 1,000% of the time. We've seen it in Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, and Austin. But what you're not going to see is the covert operations going after these thugs. Some of them, they're repeat offenders. That's what they do. After 17 arrests in violent crimes, you don't go get a job and start going to church on Sunday. They're thugs. We're going to target them and make sure they're not re-offending. In addition to that, we're going to make sure that they're in compliance, whether they're on bond, probation, or parole. We're going to make sure that they're in compliance with those rules and regulations. We've got a Homeland Security Division in Austin, Texas, that's putting together a target list of who to target. And I can tell you, nobody does it better than these agencies behind us. When we come together as a team and use all of our resources to address these issues, 1,000% of the time we have success. It's trending in the right direction. We're gonna make it much better in the coming days. So thanks to our partners for being here. There's no bigger priority in Texas for us. We're always prioritizing threats, and you know, how many murders is acceptable in Houston, Texas? I think, you know, when we talk about what is success, I don't think we will ever achieve the level of success that we want. But if we can cut it in half, that's a start. So that's.
Thank you very much. Now Ray Hunt with HPOU.
I'm not sure what's left to say after this, but let me just say that the 55% number, I think, is extremely conservative. I think that I can't recall the last time that we had a violent offender that was arrested that we didn't hear that person was on parole, probation, was on outstanding bonds or something. So just know that repeat offenders are our #1 problem. I represent the rank and file here today. Our Assistant Chief, Jessica Anderson, behind me represents Chief Noe Diaz, who couldn't be here today. But let me tell you that the work that we do with these agencies behind me and with DPS, I can't recall, especially since Mayor Whitmire got elected mayor, when a phone call wasn't made to DPS to ask for assistance, that we did not have troopers in our city within minutes, literally within minutes, to help us to deal with problems. The relationship that we have with Precinct 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, with the Harris County Sheriff's Office and with DPS is phenomenal. And the fact that we're focusing on these repeat offenders is exactly who we should be focusing on. There was a repeat offender almost a year ago in November. His name was Carlos Chavez, who committed road rage murder on the freeway in Houston, killing a man and injuring a small child with a pistol. He was out on multiple felony bonds. The judges got the point that this person is a continued problem, As the colonel said, he's not going to work when he leaves there. He's going to continue robbing people. That person was put into Harris County Jail on a very, very high bond. He has not been released yet. He's awaiting trial, and our trial docket is starting to go down. This governor's appointed 9 Republican judges in Harris County since in the last 3 or 4 years. We have another one open today, by the way. And those bring down the dockets. The faster you can get to trial on a felony, the more likely these thugs are to plead out and take their 35-year sentence or their 40-year sentence. Prior to that, what would happen was, if you knew it was going to be 6 years before you were going to go to trial, and you knew that you had a magistrate, not elected by the people, setting your bond at little to nothing, why do you want to even think about making a deal with the state? You're going to sit there and for 6 more years, you're going to terrorize Houston, you're going to terrorize Harris County. There was no incentive. Now they're starting to get the message. And just because we're trending downward, if we let off the gas now, we're going to go straight back up. So this initiative that the governor has brought forward is exactly what we need in Houston, Harris County. I want to thank you for everything you've done for law enforcement. Chief Anderson and I are in the legislature every session. Never, ever have we come to you or the leadership and asked for something for police officers that it wasn't delivered. It means a lot for us to know that someone has our back. It's a thankless job sometimes. Sometimes you think no one cares about you. When you have leadership in the city and the state and now in the federal government that supports us, it's a big morale booster to our officers. So this initiative should make things better in Houston, not just today, but also in the years to come. So thank you for being here today. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Listen, we're dealing with a target-rich environment. We know who these criminals are, who these repeat offenders are. We're going to locate them, find them, arrest them, and put them behind bars and make the streets of Houston even safer. Take a few questions.
Governor, can I pick up on something Mr. Hunt said? Talk about the collaboration with the city. Can you talk about your collaboration with Mayor Whitmire on public safety? And I have a follow-up.
So I've talked to Mayor Whitmire about public safety at least a half a dozen times. And as you probably know, he's a mayor who cares a lot about public safety, has made sure that his police department, as well as other law enforcement in the area, are tackling the problem. He's proud of the fact that crime is going down, but understands there's a lot more to get done.
And then how much is this press conference preemptive or a signal to the Trump administration that you've got things under control in Texas, you've got things under control in the largest city, and you don't need any kind of National Guard coming in here like they've gone into Memphis or other cities?
So for one, there's never been any threat or any assertion that may be happening in Texas, because the president does know that I, as governor, as well as our local law enforcement, that we're very committed to this. This is an obligation all of us in leadership have every single day, and that's to wake up and find ways that we can make our community safer, and that's exactly what we are achieving today.
Governor, I understand that this initiative is going to beef up law enforcement in the area, but can you explain more about how this is going to target repeat offenders in the city?
Sure. So to give you the most details about that, I'll defer to Director Freeman Martin.
Sure, we will only have so many personnel and resources, and we're going to focus them on these violent offenders. So for us, specifically for DPS, we will pull troopers from surrounding counties that would normally be working everybody's got a full-time job, they work something. But we're going to leverage the tag, we're going to refocus our resources on what's most important, and that's these violent offenders. And when you talk about the governor and the mayor, I can tell you it is seamless. We work so many operations with the Houston Police Department, the Harris County Sheriff's Department, and Constable Herman, these behind us in the surrounding counties, that it's really seamless. They share their data, we share our data, we do heat maps, we know where the violent crimes happen, we know when it's happening, it's intelligence directed, we'll saturate patrols, but in that, there's always the investigative piece and the detectives that are working behind the scenes and looking at who are violent offenders, what do they drive, where are they at, when's the last time, when did they get out of jail, who are they hanging with, what gangs, and nobody does a better job than they do in Harris County. Houston PD started 25 years ago collecting data on gang members. Me as a Texas Ranger back in those days, I would go to Houston PD and say, hey, I'm working a violent crime out here in Waller County, this is my suspect. Oh, that guy lives over here, he's part of this gang, and this is who he runs with. We know who they are. We just there'll be covert surveillance on them, there will be intelligence. The ones that have warrants are easy because we'll just go get them. And that's a large portion of them. There's others that we know they're in violation of their bond, probation, or parole. We'll get warrants on them and we'll go get them. Others that we don't know what they're doing, there's covert surveillance and we'll find out what they're doing. And that's how we find a lot of these, I don't want to give up all of our operational stuff, but that's how we find juggers. That's what they do. So if we're watching them and they're casing out a bank, we know what's about to happen. And thankfully for the governor and the legislature and some of these new laws, we can get them traffic stopped before they commit the crime. And if they're in possession of certain tools, we charge them with a felony before somebody is a victim. So that's what right looks like. And there's a lot more, and I'll let Ray.
Can I piggyback on that for a minute,
Sure.
Robert? Specifically, SB 9, which was filed this last legislative session that you just signed into law, just worked in Houston, Texas last week. We had a repeat offender, had just been released back in the end of August on the same offense that he was committing again this time. We arrested this person on this felony. He was taken in front of a magistrate, but the magistrate could not set his bond because SB 9 no longer lets an appointed magistrate do that. It has to, when someone's got a warrant out for their arrest, it has to go back to the court where that warrant's in. So it went back to that court. Well, guess what? That judge, and she happens to be a Democrat, set a no bond hearing for him in the next 2 weeks. So he's sitting in jail right now and will stay in jail until that no bond hearing is heard. And I'm confident that either he's going to get no bond or a very, very high bond, which means he's not going to be out terrorizing all of you for at least the next 3 weeks and hopefully for a lot longer, because we hope he put him in jail and then he goes to TDC for a long time.
Just one last thing to further answer your question. Is a concentration of resources where DPS and other law enforcement, we concentrate resources on attacking a specific problem. You've heard Director Freeman Martin talk about jugging, how we concentrated resources and had success there. We also worked with local law enforcement to address road rage and other problems on I-45 North, and it led to a decrease in crime in that area. This is just a replication of efforts that we have already seen success on when we concentrate the resources, and then when you combine that with the tools and information that they have, that they don't want to give away the details about, but they have tools and information that will allow them to specifically target who they want to go after to make sure we will be able to get to that repeat offender before that repeat offender will be able to get to their next victim.
I'm also curious about why you chose Houston. So Houston has about 5,000 HPD officers. Dallas has about 3,000. Can you explain why Houston?
Sure. So as I have said, and Freeman has said, and Rayhan has said, we have a good working relationship that's long established. And so this is a project that I do want to take elsewhere in the state. But because of the effective and proven and historical relationship that already exists, I thought this was a good place to start. And then we will learn and be able to modify our strategies based upon what we do here, and then be able to deploy our best strategies to other areas across the state. Know this, and that is, as governor, I care about crime in all 254 counties. And so we will be taking this to large counties, but also to small counties. You know, on a percentage basis, just because of what happened earlier this year, the crime rate in Houston County may be higher than it is in Houston, Texas, the city. And Houston County, of course, is a small area. My point is this. It could be rural Texas, urban Texas, suburban Texas. We will look at every corner of the state to make sure we're making it as safe as possible.
Governor, one question. The mayor's not here, the county judge, the sheriff, or the police chief are not here. I can't ask them, but I want to ask you, is this an initiative that you asked them or that they asked to bring to the city, especially since our crime rate is down? So why
Sure.
now?
So for one, I've been talking to the mayor about things like this for a while now. I talked to him about this a couple of days ago, and he said that he was not going to be able to be here. It's my understanding that he's out of town today. And so you can tell by the fact that we have a good presence from Houston Police Department leadership. Listen, they're invested in this, and they too want to see crime go down. And yes, the mayor is pleased with the fact that crime is going down, but none of us are happy unless crime is zero. And so we all know we have a long way to go in this targeted approach that we've done successfully with Houston Police Department under Mayor Whitmire, but also under prior mayors, has proven to be successful. We want to replicate that with what we consider to be the most dangerous criminals, and those are repeat offenders.
Can I ask kind of a follow-up question for whoever's qualified to answer?
Sure.
Like, you already have all these task forces, regional task forces. Like, what changes with this initiative? Is more money going to overtime? Are you bringing more people into the task force?
Yeah, so I mean, there are task forces that may achieve their goal, and hence the effort and resources are not being put into those specific task forces. And it goes back to what I was saying moments ago. This is going to be a concentrated effort where at the DPS level, this is going to be one of our primary focuses of operation, to make sure that this area and this cause are going to have the resources that are going to be needed to target and to apprehend and to remove from the streets these most dangerous criminals who are the repeat offenders. And then, in addition to adding the personnel to it, is deploying enhanced strategy, some of which is new, some of which is already proven, to make sure we will be able to identify and find the people that we're looking for.
Two more questions, folks.
Governor, I
Yeah.
have a question. Isn't the issue that we have these repeat offender problems because of judges that are releasing them back out onto the streets?
So
Or is
it,
that a major factor in contributing to this repeat offender problem?
no doubt, the release of dangerous criminals by judges in Harris County is a contributing factor at a minimum, maybe more than that. And that's exactly why I made as one of my top priorities this past session to pass laws as well as a constitutional amendment that would reform the bail process to prohibit and make it more difficult for the local judges in particular in Harris County from releasing these dangerous criminals back out onto the street only to kill somebody else. As I said then, I'll repeat now. In the Houston area alone, over just a year or two, there have been hundreds of people who lost their lives, who were murdered by someone who had previously committed another murder, released by the judge only to murder again. I'll repeat one example, a man named Austin Collette. Austin Collette was not only arrested for murder, he pleaded guilty to murder. And he was a confessed killer, only awaiting his sentencing. And the judge, as opposed to keeping him behind bars during the sentencing, the judge let him back out on the streets. While he was out on the streets awaiting sentencing, he murdered a 23-year-old woman here in Harris County. That is horrific. And that's one reason why we were able to get the reforms passed during the session that Ray Hunt has already made reference to. But we're not done yet. There's more to be achieved with regard to reforming the judiciary and the rules with regard to bail to make sure that we keep behind bars those who pose an imminent danger to our community.
Time for one more, folks.
Governor, I'd like to understand more about this.
I know, but there's other people that.
Can you say how long the task force will actually be in the Houston area? And I know you mentioned high crime areas within the city. Can you talk about what those high crime areas are? And then at what point you know the task force has kind of done its job and may not be needed as much?
So you had three questions, and the first and last are co-related. So there's no, it's not like we're going to be here for 1 week, 1 month, or 60 days. There's no predefined term right now how long it will last. One thing we want to do, we want to see results, and that goes, I think, to your second question. And that is, what do we define as a high crime area? Without going into all the cards in the deck of DPS and local law enforcement, the reality is this. Because of the criminal records, we know, for the most part, all of who the repeat offenders are. We know where they are for the most part. And so we're able to target them, by zip code, by address, whatever the case may be, and find ways of dealing with them that I will not disclose right now that will enable law enforcement to try to get to them and maybe arrest them and get them off the streets before they get to their next victim.
Thank you, everyone.
Governor, just to be clear, they're not gonna be patrolling a specific area, right? They're just gonna be targeting those.
So to be clear, and Freeman Martin made reference to this, there will be additional patrols in certain areas, but that will be done on a case-by-case basis, a day-by-day basis, based upon facts on the ground.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
John.
Thank you.
Thank you guys again. Appreciate you. Appreciate you being